The police minister has come out.
He's
on
there.
a walkabout.
So this is where we are in Mamelodi now. Ofenste Setimo is there. He's with the police minister. Let's go to him live and see what's happening and being said. Setimo? Ofenste?
Studio, please put up the volume.
All right, sorry, we're just checking everything there, but Ofenste Setimo, as you can hear, is there. His camera operator has got the police.
He's just asking us for a bit of volume because I think there's a bit of background noise that he's battling at the moment. So, Ofenste, if you can hear us now, it's over to you. Take it from here.
Okay, thank you very much, Sakina. We're coming to you from Mams Mall, which it seems was a site of yet another sporadic looting that was happening here in Pretoria. And it seems that Mams Mall is actually the one that has been hard hit, as other communities around Tshwane, Soshanguve, Garankuwa and Mabopane have actually been the last line of defense against their community centers. But it seems in Mamelodi, it's been a completely different story, quite a sad sight to see, because we were actually here at this particular site of the mall, which was not vandalized. But it seems overnight there are some people who actually saw an opportunity, because the police are actually thinly stretched on the ground, and it seems they had this chance to actually, loot this Mams Mall. But the minister is here. We're going to try to get a comment from him as to why he particularly visited this mall, as we know that it is the one that is actually hard hit. Let me try and get something from the minister quickly. Minister.
Can you speak to Liranzo, please?
Today? Oh, it seems the minister is not willing to speak to us now, as he's referring us to the spokesperson, Liranzo Temba, who's also here doing sort of like site inspections. Maybe I assume that the minister has been briefed as to what transpired before he can speak to the media. Thank you so much for your time, Liranzo. Your purpose of your visit here today in Tshwane?
Well, the minister is here to obviously look at the contingent measures that have been put in place for the police, Ofenste, but also just to make sure that there is that operation where we're now looking into making sure that the malls and the other infrastructure that has not been affected, it stays that way. As you can see that we are at this mall, Mams Mall, where, while there has been that looting, there also has been those shops that have been spared. So the police are here to make sure that this situation remains. And the minister has been quite clear that, while he does encourage our communities really working together with the police to make sure that they do ensure that such infrastructure and such malls are kept intact. But the minister will obviously, bring on board what are some of the measures that have been put in place, not just in this area in Tshwane, but also overall in Gauteng. And the minister plans to also go into KZN actually today.
And I also wanted to ask the minister, because there are some claims that there was intel following the breaking of the COVID-19 regulations in Kandla, that something like this would transpire, but it seems the police were actually caught flat-footed on this.
Well, he's right there, Ofenste, so we can really ask the minister those pertinent questions. But just to conclude on that initial question that you had asked me, what the purpose is to make sure that police are not caught unawares, to make sure that police are up to the task, and the minister as well as the JCPS ministers did make that point very clear yesterday in their statement. So the minister would be in a position to answer those very important questions. The country wants to know exactly those answers. But safe to say that we are now at a stabilization process as the South African Police Service to make sure that we do rebuild and to make sure that those infrastructure and those buildings that have not been touched remain that way.
And, the reasons given for the slow reactions to what has been seen as lawlessness is the fact that the police are trying to spare lives in order to avoid yet another Marikana. Yet there's about 79 lives lost already, Liranzo. So it seems like the objective you're trying to reach, it's failing.
I wouldn't say it's failing. The State Security Minister yesterday, Minister Tlotlo, was on record to say that much, much more could have happened. And I think that we have to really take light and take that into heart, that there has been that intel that has been used to prevent much worse things from happening. She made mention that there were targets at hospitals with patients inside. There were targets at other key parts of the economy, and that was they were able to really mitigate those attacks. So, of course, the loss of life can never, ever, ever, ever be justified. And that is one of the reasons why the minister is on record to send condolences to the 72 people that have died. But we also encourage that 1,234 people have been arrested. It means that the ground forces that are on the ground are actually, doing the level best, jointly with the SANDF offense to make sure that people are brought to book. But the minister has also made mention that 12 people are being sought after. 12 people that are instigators of this violence that we're seeing unfolding in Gauteng and in Durban. So we really have to take notice of those sort of progressions that are being made, but we also have to take stock of what has really been meted and what is happening and unfolding in front of us. But the security cluster is on record to say that they are confident that police, law enforcement on the ground, accompanied by the officers of the SANDF, will bring a lid or will put a lid to these protests.
Thank you very much. That's the spokesperson for the National Police Minister, Liranzu Themba, actually saying that there was intel that the police had. In fact, they used it to sort of reduce the damage to especially critical national key points to ensure that they're actually not sabotaged during such incidents that we've seen transpiring over the past couple of days. It seems the minister will say a few words. Let's hear.
The day before, they also lit fire around the area. So, it seems so concerted for it to be dismissed as just mere...
People that are hungry, is concerted, it's especially here, clearly.
Because even on our assessment, if I look at the expenditure, like I just told you, day before when the looting started, we had a couple of private companies. Yesterday alone, I had 4 different security companies.
Well, as you can see there, Sakina, the minister is actually speaking to center management. They're sort of giving him a breakdown of what actually transpired and how the security and the law enforcement agencies fared over the past couple of days after Mams Mall was the center which has been targeted by the looters here in Tshwane. We'll listen in.
Will we get the army what's going to happen? Because it is concerning. Though I must say from the community side, and that's where, because you're trying to gauge the mood. From the community side, you get a sense that they really don't want anything to happen to the mall. Day after the looting, we got messages from people volunteering to come clean the mall. So that tells you from a community point of view, they really appreciate the mall. But, there are elements which I think it's something that is organized and it's really negatively impacting on us.
Okay.
Yeah, as the inspection continues, we'll try and get a comment from the minister, who seems to be camera shy at the moment, but we'll definitely try and get something there.
Okay, we'll leave that one there. That's, of course, still happening right now. And as you heard, camera shy minister, not really saying too much at the moment, but the mics are there. It looks like...
camera shy?
Well, he's there. Look, he's
Minister
speaking.
Bheki Cele.
I know, he is speaking now. We're going to say goodbye. We'll go there. The agenda will take over. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
The approach and narrative, as we said yesterday in Pretoria, to say we need to prevent those things, to arrest the situation, reverse it, and prevent things happening. See that
you have dreams
like your phosphorus, like your Alex and all that. So working together with the people here, coming early and making sure that we arrest the situation, reverse it, and as I've said, begin to prevent things happening going forward.
And the minister, I heard that there was some intel as to things like this actually transpiring. In fact, Liranzu alluded to the fact that thanks to the intel that you guys had. Can you just mention some of the key points that were protected against the looting?
Well, the key key points. One of them, if you go drive Barra Hospital, you realize that we have some extra protection there, because this thing of looting is a smoke screen, is far beyond that in terms of criminality happening. Chawelo, your Chawelo clinic, that was almost under attack yesterday. There are still those malls that are standing. We're trying to work hard that they remain standing. Yomaponya. The community is working there together with the police. That's why we are here as the manager speaks, that they're taking this train, but they're also working with the police. The soldiers, as they begin to roll in, there will be places to work around those places and to see that they are protected. Your generators' houses, your ESCOM places where there are generators, small stations. Those are the places that you need to look at it. KZN, your water reservoirs. Those are the places that you are trying to work hard on them. Your airports. If you go to Tambo, is one place that is protected, King Shaga, and those places. And the places like your port and all that, they are already prioritized. But also, especially in Durban, we are beginning to work with the communities, because these criminals, as they finish things like this, they move to the houses and all that. So we are encouraging that the communities, together with the police, I want to emphasize that point, that they must work with the police. As there was an issue yesterday in Soweto, Maponya. So long they work with the police, so long they work within the law, but especially directed by the police, we don't have the problem. The problem starts when the communities create the parallel structures working against the police or outside the police. That does give the problem. But if they work together, we are fine.
And the Automobile Association says that in the next few days, petrol could actually run out inland because of blockades at strategic roads that come from the ports of entry in Durban. What are the law enforcement doing about that? Because there were motorists that were actually panic buying petrol overnight because they thought that they don't want to be left stranded.
Well, I'm told this morning, speaking with the Eastern Cape MEC, that they are beginning, especially from KZN, to cross the border to get the petrol on the Eastern Cape side. We hope that they are not transferring the nonsense there. They are only getting that what they are missing. Working on those points, especially the N3, we have been taking this train as the police, that special places like Moy River. I'm glad that people around Moy River today are starting to clean the Moy River town as the communities, as you can see here, that communities themselves are cleaning here. The places like Moy River, they are doing exactly that starting this morning, which shows that maybe the common sense is coming back. Communities, they want their staff protected. Saying we hope that when the army rolls completely, they will take these points like your plazas, like your toll gates, so that they relieve the police to be able to go on those areas. I speaking to the Provincial Commission, Special of Free State and the KZN, they have developed the method where themselves they request the trucks to park together at night, so that they can see them moving the next day rather than moving during the night, because they can be attacked and any other different side. So taking that delay, taking the strain of delay would be better than taking the destruction that we saw happening at Moy River. Those are the things that we are trying to avoid.
Minister, you touched on it now. You said this is not normal looting. I asked a question yesterday about people formerly involved in the intelligence agencies instigating this. The name is out there today. It's being reported Tulani Dlomo is one of the prime suspects. What we're looking at here doesn't appear to be criminality. This is more a crimes against the state. What is being done about this individual and others to try and put an end to this violence we are seeing?
Well, there are quite several names that are coming up. That are you are very correct. So it does look like it's a crime against the state. So relevant structures then will have to work in that kind of proportionality to say people are attacking the state if they are organized and all that. For instance, somebody sent the information last night of a person that's giving all the details of the pipeline, moving from Durban to Johannesburg and all that. You're not going to tell me what are you going to loot in that pipe except causing a damage and terrorizing the nation. So those relevant structures must investigate, which I believe they are investigating now. Maybe for now we'll leave it there. The name that you have raised is not for me, because I'm not an investigator, to call the names until those names are investigated and the evidence is put on the table and we take them through the system. What we are requesting is that justice, prosecution, magistrates and everybody, they work quicker on these matters so that we begin to arrest the whole situation.
I was just about to ask that. So given the time is of the essence, things are unfolding very quickly. Reactive response with deployment of police and the SANDF is one thing. I think it's the proactive side. Is this getting the necessary priority that it needs to take out the instigators?
Well, those structures that deal with that, the Minister Dlodlo, the Minister of Defense, and myself, that they have this component of in intelligence, especially the state security. They must be proactive, give us the product, work on it. I think the Minister of State Security spoke yesterday, was supposed to go to Durban today. I don't know whether they're still going or not. To work on some of these issues, including the names and all that. I fully agree with you. Proactiveness is more necessary than the reactive. We have been reacting. We need to go faster to be proactive. I'm satisfied that that's the direction we're taking.
Sorry, Minister. Just take it. Sorry, Minister. Just two quick questions. Minister, I just want to understand fully. So basically the information you guys are getting now is that agitators are being sent into communities to create these looting events, which are obviously now referred to as smoke screens, and that allows the people who are instigating this entire thing to attack elsewhere. Is that the information you guys are getting? To attack elsewhere.
Well, we have said even yesterday in the statement that there is the so-called social media war here. And our guys are working on that, cyber people are working on that, names identified, those structures are supposed to pursue those names that have been identified. There are names that have been identified.
Minister, just more locally, you've got a briefing about Mamelodi. There were reports of rioters shooting live rounds. There were reports of people being shot. I'm not sure if any of it was confirmed. I don't know what report you got this morning. If you could maybe just tell us what has transpired here in Mams.
Well, I tried to find out. Looks like nobody has been killed here. 116 people arrested around this mall. Surely, there is nothing like hungry people looting and getting something to eat. Yes, there will be those people that are genuinely hungry and all. But when you hear here, people coming with guns and exchange of firepower with the security here, and when the walls that surround this mall are fixed and the same night are broken in, that to me sounds like more of an organized gangsterism and organized gangs that might be beyond what we see people looting for food. And we'll always know that here around Mamelodi, there are individuals, some of them arrested, that they run the organized kind of thing. There are things called Boko Haram and all that. So they might be hiding behind the genuine hunger, the genuine social problems of the community here, but having a medium and long-term plans and plots to do what they want to do. So we need just to go to look at beyond what is happening as looting, but there is some big element of the organized criminality around here.
Just a parting shot, Minister, do you believe that in terms of crime prevention, the intel that you had at your disposal was sufficiently used in order to avert the worst case scenario?
Yes, we believe. Not that we are not conceding that a lot of trouble has happened, a lot of destruction. I went to Alex yesterday. I looked at phosphorus. I looked in Durban, that shoe horse area, that Nandi Drive, and all those kind of things. Yesterday night, the N3 and all that. Lot of destruction have happened, but unfortunately, we don't talk much about that. Hasn't happened. Indeed, the information has been used. I insist, though your clan media doesn't want to believe that there is something that has been saved. For instance, in KZN yesterday, they were planning to burn the hospital, literally planning to burn the hospital with patients inside. So that was averted. So those are the things that would not come on board if they're not said. They were planning to ban the legislature, things like those in KZN. So it's balance. Indeed, would have loved that things you see here, these scenarios you see here, could not have happened. They have happened. That's why now we're pushing the gear of prevention, that where we are, we don't go beyond in terms of destruction.
Last thing, Minister, the people who have been killed in this unrest, the number is now 72, almost 1,800. Who is killing these people? Is it the vigilante groups? Where are the fingers pointing?
That's a problem, and the call we are making, that people stay away from this thing. Midlands, where 10 people died on Stampede. KZN, there's been some Stampede also. But also where there was explosion of gas and people died. To tell exactly how these people and who kills them, it has not been, especially those that are shot, that the processes like your autopsy will have to help us who shot those particular people where. But where we suspect that there is a shooting between the community and the police, IPIT comes in and still checks but up to this point, it looks like we have a bigger number of the people that die outside the hands of the police, if there are those that have died outside the police. Among themselves, shooting among themselves and all that kind of thing. There are many among these people, armed gangs, as it started in Alex, where they shot the police and somebody was picked up, shot and dead. If they shoot the police, which means they can shoot everybody. So it's a situation that at the present moment cannot be defined, and we just need to stop it, and then we work on definition at the later stage.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you.
Well, there you heard it was the police minister briefing the media here at Mams Mall, which was the subject of sporadic looting, which has been happening in KZN and in Gauteng. And I'd like to highlight and commend the communities of Soshanguve, Mabopane and Garankua, who actually were the protective force against the malls in their areas, as they have not been the target. We were here in Mamelodi yesterday. It wasn't as bad as it is right now, and it seems that overnight there were some more looting happening here, and the police are saying that they are hot on the heels of those that are the ones actually pushing for the people to do such acts. And with that, is back to studio.
All right, Ofenste, thank you so much.